Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Hit the bell icon button so that you don't miss out any tutorial.
Hello guys, and welcome to our new project, Photo Gallery. So here we have albums. We can create a new album, and within the albums we have photos. For example, this is empty. We can upload a new photo. I'm going to upload an example here of London City. And if we click submit, we have the photo here. We can view it, see this description, we can delete it, and now it's empty. We can view other albums as well. We can go back. So this is it. Okay guys, welcome to lecture number 1, controllers, models and database. So let's start by creating a new Laravel project called Photoshop. So let's open a commander and navigate to Z. So XAMPP htdocs, and here we're going to create a new Laravel application called Photoshop. Okay, so while this creates the application, let's set up the hosts file. Let's go to the XAMPP Apache conf extra, and let's open the vhosts.conf, and right at the bottom let's copy this and paste it below as we did on the other projects. And here let's just put Photoshop and Photoshop.stg. Let's save it. And now let's open the notepad as an administrator with the right click and run as administrator, and open the hosts file from Windows, which is in C Windows System32 drivers etc. And here we're going to add the same line but with different name. Okay, now let's wait for this to finish. Just a few more seconds. And we're done. So, okay. So let's check this out. And let's test the new project. Oh, I think I forgot to start the Apache and the MySQL. Great, now we have our new application. So let's go back to our list, and now we're going to create the albums controller, photos controller, models, migrations, and database. So let's open our project in the Atom. Open folder, htdocs, Photoshop. Great, now let's close the previous project, and here we are. So let's create a controller, albums controller and photos controller with PHP artisan make controller. So first we navigate to the Photoshop directory, and now PHP artisan make controller, albums controller, and the same for photos. Great. Now we have our two controllers. We can check this out. And now let's create the models. Here we have our new controllers, albums, and photos. Now for the models, we're going to make them with the M option as always. So in that way we have our migration files. This is it for the album model. And now let's create the photo model. Here you have an album. Let's create a new folder for models. And just put this in that folder and change the namespace. Now let's create the photo model. Okay, here we are, and let's just grab this into the models folder and change the namespace. And we can check this item because now we have our controllers and our models. Great, so now let's edit the migration files, the albums first. So this is going to have a few fields. So this is going to be table, string, and name. Then table, text, description, and finally table, string, cover image. So here we will have the image for our album. Now let's create edit the photo migration file, which is going to be table and an integer for the album ID. So we can connect the album with the photos. Then we'll have a string for the photo, which is going to be the name of the image that we're going to upload. Then we'll have a string for the photo title and another one for the size. And finally, we'll have a string for the photo description. Okay, great. So this is it. And now let's create the database and run these migration files, right? So let's go ahead to phpMyAdmin. Great. Now let's create a new database called Photoshop. And now we have to edit the .env file. So in this way, Laravel knows the name of our database. So this is going to be Photoshop. And now we're ready to run the migrations. So as always, PHP artisan migrate. And this created all of our tables. Let's check this in phpMyAdmin. Now we have our albums with all of our fields and the photos table as well. Right guys, so in this video we're going to set up our views and routes and of course layouts. So let's begin by running npm install to use Bootstrap. And while this installs, let's go ahead and create first check this and then create an index and a create function in the albums controller. So let's navigate to our albums controller and just create a function called index, which is going to return a view which is called index within the albums folder, and another function, create function, which is going to return a create view within the albums controller, right? Great. So now let's check this out and create the routes for all of these methods. So let's navigate to routes web.php file. And let's get rid of this. We're not going to use the welcome view. So the main route is going to use the index method of albums controller. And then we'll have /albums as well. So these two routes are redirecting to the same place. Then we have /albums/create, which of course is going to use albums controller at create. And finally, we have /albums/store, which is going to use a method that we need to define later, store method. Okay, so let's go ahead and check this item out. And now let's create a layout for our views, and then we can create the views. So let's open resources views and create a new folder here, which is going to be called layouts, as you know, and a new file called app.blade.php. Let's insert the HTML code and let's add a few things. For example, the title, which is going to be photo show, and a link to our app CSS sheet, which is in public CSS app.css, which is compiled and minified. So this is going to be app.css. And here we'll have a content for each view. Okay, so the run npm install command is now finished. So now we can run npm run watch to compile our assets. And this could take a few seconds. So let's check the create a layout item. And now we just need to create an upload form. Right, so Laravel makes build successfully. And now I have a new folder called albums, and here we'll have our form, the create.blade.php, which is going to return the create method. Now we're going to extend the layout that we just created, and we'll have our content section here. And just to give it a try, let's type h2 create new album. So let's navigate to albums/create. and here we have our title. So this is working correctly. Now we should create a form. So let's go to Bootstrap and let's grab an example form from here. And just paste it in create view. So let's arrange this. And let's just test it. Great. Now I have our form, but I think I forgot the container class. Yeah, that's it. So let's add a div with class container as we are using Bootstrap. And let's wrap the whole content, the whole form. Great, now let's try it out. And now I have our form. So now I have to add the album's fields. Okay, name, description, and cover image. So here I have name. This is going to be a text type input with ID of name. And let's get rid of this. Then you have placeholder, which is going to say enter name. And let's just remove this and add a name attribute, which is going to be name as well. So let's get rid of all of this and just copy and paste the form group class with everything in it. And for the second field, we'll have description. For description and name description, ID description, and the placeholder. And lastly, we have cover image on every attribute as well. Okay, this is going to be a file, not a text. And let's remove the placeholder, and we have an ID of cover image and the name of cover image as well. So let's add the CSRF token for our form to protect it from the cross-site attacks. And I'm going to tap this well as it should be. Now let's go with the form attributes. This is going to be a post form, and we will have an action of album store. So now we're going to name the routes. This is going to store, so I'm going to name this albums store. Okay. And as we are sending a file, we should add another attribute for this form, which is going to be the type, the enc type. This is going to be a multi-part form data, and this way the store method can receive a file. So let's try it out. And here we have, for example, album 1 with description, first album, and let's pick a test file, and if we just submit it, we got an error, which is the post method is not supported for this route. And this is because, let's check our routes. Yes, we're looking for a post route, not a get. And now we need to define the store method, which is going to receive a request. And let's see what this is receiving. So let's refresh this. And now we have our request. And if you see here in request, not attributes, request parameters, we have our name, description, and in files, we have our file, which is cover image, right? So we are getting the data right. Let's check this out. And we're done for now. Hello guys, welcome to lecture number 3, cover image upload. So let's begin by adding a navbar. So here in views, let's create a new folder called ink and a new file called navbar.blade.php. And I'm going to open a folder from Laravel. Just grab the whole navbar from there. No, we don't have it here. So in the layout, maybe. Yes. No, this is another thing. Let's open the to-do project. And yes, here you have our navbar. Great. Now let's just paste this here, and we're going to make a few changes. But first, let's test it. So let's go to photogallery.stg, and we have index not found. Also, yes, you have to create the index view, which you haven't created on the last lecture. So here in albums, let's create a new file called index.blade.php. And let's just copy the layout and content. So let's include the navbar in our layout. And now we can test it. Great. Now I have our navbar, and of course a blank page, because we didn't add anything to the index view. And of course we need to edit the navbar. So this is going to be create album, and let's change the route here. Actually, we're going to use the route names. So this is going to be route album create. And we need to name that route here. So it's going to be name album create. And for the active class, let's change this to albums/create. And the home remains the same. So here are our home, and our create album form. Okay. Yes, great. Now we have our highlight function working well. So we added a navbar. Let's add a messages template. I'm going to do the same thing. So let's add a new file here called messages.blade.php, and I'm going to open the to-do list project as I did before, and I'm going to copy the messages contents and paste it right here. Great. And let's include it in our layout. So this is going to be inc.messages. Now we have our messages template, and we have to program the store method with validation. Remember, we have our form and we need to create validation for our fields. So this is going to be this validate, and we're passing the request and the validation rules. So this is going to be let's say name, which is going to be required. Then we have a description, which is required too. And finally you have our cover image, which is required as well, and is going to be an image. So Laravel provides you this kind of validation. Okay, let's try the validation. And here you have our 3 fields required, and if the file is not an image, it says the cover image must be an image. Okay, great. So let's go back to the store method, and something we need to do is to get the entire file name that we are uploading. So this is very simple with the request. Now we're getting the file with the extension, so let's see what this returns. Let's upload the real photo, and let's just say that here we have cities and cities around the world. Let's submit it. And here we have the full name with the extension, right? Now let's extract the name of the file with the path info method from PHP. So in this way we're going to get the file name only. You can see it right here. Great. Now I have the name of the image, because what I want to do is to add a timestamp to the name. So now we're going to get the extension. This is going to be request file. You're getting the cover image, and we're using the get client original extension, and in this way we're getting the file extension. Okay, as I was saying, many people can upload the image with the same name, so we are adding to it the timestamp, so there are no repeated names, right? So the file name to store is going to be file name, and here we are going to use the time function with an underscore, and finally the extension. So we split it, the name, added the time, and got together again. So here we have the name of the image, the timestamp, and the extension. Okay, you can see that the time is changing every time we refresh it because it's counting in seconds. So now it's time to create the actual album. So this is going to be album name request input name, as we are using the album model. The same for description. And for the cover image field, here we are storing only the name, not the actual image, right? So this is cover image equals to file name to store. There it is. So we are not saving the image. Keep in mind this. We are saving the model with those three fields. Great. Now we need to save the actual image. Now we are going to save the image to the disk, right? To your server disk, in this case to your machine. So this is going to be request file. We're getting the file and we are storing it in public/album covers, and we need another parameter which is going to be file name to store. So this is the name which we are going to use to save the file to the disk, and this method returns a path. So let's see how it goes, what this returns. Let's refresh this, and now we have the full path of our image, right? So if we go here and look in storage app public album covers, here we have our image. So as we don't want to save the image twice, I'm going to remove this, and actually we're going to save the image, save the model, and return to the home view with a message, of course. So we're going to redirect to /albums with success and the message of album created successfully. Great, let's have a semicolon here. And now we can test the fall method. Click here and refresh, continue. And we have controls album not found. Oh yeah, that's because we need to import or use the app models album. Okay, let's try this again. And we have album created successfully. So now we can check the site I'm out. We've saved the file with timestamp, and now let's create a symlink from storage/public to the public folder with PHP artisan storage link. So let's navigate to the htdocs folder and Photoshop folder. And the way to create a link is with PHP artisan storage link. Now we have created a link, and if you go to our folder, now let's get into the public folder, and here we have a storage folder. So in this way the user can access to the public folder and not the storage folder, which could be dangerous. So now I have our album, and this is it for lecture number 3. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, do give us a thumbs up and share it. Also check out amazing discounts and offers on our premium courses in the description below.